Previously on Snails with No Shells.
I just wanted
Right,
to play with my friends. I just wanted to hang out.
right.
So that was a part of the reason I wrote this my chapter.
Yes.
That's just half of that. That's why I was saying to you, it's anguish and regret. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So we talked about the anger. Are you ready to be in the spotlight? Are you ready to share your story with the world? Well, Snails with No Shells is where you need to be. Available on all digital platforms, Facebook, and YouTube. Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. Where did we go wrong? We were doing so
I just
well.
wanted
Right,
to play with my friends. I just wanted to hang out.
right.
So that was a part of the reason I wrote this my chapter.
Yes.
That's just half of that. That's why I was saying to you, it's anguish and regret. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So we talked about the anger. You know what? And then you every funeral you're going to and you seeing all this around, just like you're grieving every time over and over again,
Mhm.
over and over.
Mhm.
That's gonna do something to your mental health. I'm not saying,
Yes.
I think
Yes,
it
it
will be kind
does.
of it will, because you got to deal
It
with that.
does.
You maybe, you might even really understand
Hmm.
why as a kid,
Hmm.
but it'll start playing out in different ways as you grow.
It did. It
Right.
did. A part of also in this chapter, I deal with because of the fact that I didn't know what grief was. I didn't know what grief meant until I began to write this book,
Hmm.
and I really didn't look at the word to understand what the word meant. But I understand that when we talk about grief, it comes from a deep place, is a place of sorrow when you have lost someone. It even comes from a place where you lose a job, or
Hmm.
you might even lose a pet, or whatever it may be. Loss can be grievous,
Hmm.
and so in the course of my life, I've had some points where I've been grieved and but I didn't understand it until again I wrote this book.
Wow.
I mean my chapter in the book. But then you have to also look at this. A part of this chapter deals with the fact of me going into what is considered um, the white neighborhood. That's where I went to school
Hmm.
across the bridge. In my chapter, I talk about me going across the bridge. It's like leaving my section to go to the other section, which was a whole neighborhood. It was a big neighborhood, but we had a section that was white, and the other section was predominantly black. So I had no clue, I had no understanding really what the word grief was, because I mean, I didn't even know what it meant when it was dealt wrong to me. I didn't even know. So I had those moments. It was like it was rough, and so that's what I dealt with. And so in this book, it talks just briefly about some of the things that happened to me.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Hmm.
Damon, I can only imagine. Yeah, and
Hmm.
you just probably just touching the surface because but it's only so much I guess you can write unless you're gonna do your whole biography.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can tell
Well,
it all then. Yeah.
I probably could, but can I say this though?
Yes.
Um, I've been fortunate and I've been definitely blessed to be able to rise above, the grief that I feel. Now, I won't say to anybody that grief never re-evolves, comes back, or never, just leave and never comes back.
Hmm.
But I do want people to know that you'll grieve over something as you go through life. But in my chapter, I also talks about the anguish that I felt. That's what grief is about. It's about being angry. It's about being sad. It's about a lot of things that attributes to that one word. And so I found out. something that I put in the chapter was that I went to a party at the age of about nine, I think 8 or 9, something to that degree, back in the summer of 1974. And I don't know if anybody ever have actually experienced being spat upon. Um, that's the only one person I know outside of myself that have experienced being spat upon is Jesus.
Mm,
Now, ain't nobody else ever told me somebody just spit on them. I mean, deliberately spat on them,
mm-hmm.
and that was a part of my grief that made me angry, and I had regret as a result because as a young child, I couldn't do anything to defend myself
Mm-hmm.
because the person that did that to me was on a motor, what they call a mini bike back in that time,
Mm-hmm.
and he ran up on me, called me that N name, and spat upon me and rolled off laughing. And
Wow.
so I had that to deal with growing up. So I really acted out a lot. Um, I didn't really let a lot of people get close to me. I would like to fight as much as I could fight because, I was going through that period. And,
Right.
yeah. So that's where the anguish and all of that comes from.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all need to go get this book.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to show the pictures that I have. This is Grief Through His
Hmm.
Eyes, and Dr. Naaman is one of the beautiful co-authors of this book, and he's showing you the front of the book. Let me I'm gonna put mine down. That's fine. Yeah. Grief Through His Eyes. Uh-huh. That's the cover. Now you see why it's an
Hmm.
Amazon best-selling book. You have
Yeah.
14 different stories, 14 men, 14 different points of views of what grief is to each one of these men.
Amen. Wow.
Wow. Whoa.
uh,
I know when we did the interview, as a
hmm.
group, it was a little
Hmm.
different. And I was
Yes.
saying, man, I can't wait to get each one of you individually.
Hmm.
You can get more time to, share what you want to share and just,
Yes.
you know, so I can get to know more too, because I enjoy doing this. And wow, you didn't
Yeah.
you touched on it a little bit, but not to the detail
Hmm.
like you did this evening. Wow.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I listen. I really want to thank you for letting me expose um, my side to as many people that will watch this um, podcast. Um, I am number one. I'm grateful not only for Miss Fry
Mhm.
for having this vision,
Yes.
but I am so grateful. And I am not going to talk too in depth because I am one that has got a melted heart and I would cry real quickly. And that's not what I want everybody to see because I want you said beautiful and I want to stay that way.
You're beautiful when you cry too.
Oh, Lord, listen, but I am so enthralled by the idea that these men have put stories that are authentic
Hmm.
in this book. And I do want to say to anyone who have not gotten this book, you need to get it because I'm gonna tell you that there are so many amazing stories, and you would be surprised where you fit in any and all of these stories that's within it. Now, these are not stories that are made up. These are actual stories, and so and life that has taken part in these stories. And so I encourage any person that may be experiencing some grief, not knowing how to deal with the loss. I think that you would be inspired by reading this book and reading it from a male's perspective. And I
Yes.
think that you would really get a lot out of it and be encouraged and be lifted and something that you can always run to. I think it's a good buy.
Yes. And I agree. And I love the
Hmm.
fact that you have You're able to be open and transparent and share
Mm-hmm.
yourself with others, and especially
Mm-hmm.
with other men, especially with
Mm-hmm.
other things. Like I always say, let's normalize men being human beings.
Mm-hmm. They are.
You
They
do
are.
feel, men, they
Mm-hmm.
cry, men grieve, right?
They
Men,
do.
they
They
get,
do.
they're angry. And
Mm-hmm.
let's dig a little deeper. Why?
Yes.
Why are you
Yes.
angry? Why is he angry? Why is she angry? Instead of being so
Mm-hmm.
quick to judge, let's find
Mm-hmm.
out what happened and see in this book, we're gonna learn
We
why,
will.
Dr. Naaman was angry, and why,
Mm-hmm.
the other author maybe, was selling drugs. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying there's
Mm-hmm.
always a reason
Right.
why, right?
Mm-hmm. There
Why we
is.
behave the way we do.
There
So,
is. Mm-hmm. I
and
think that I think that what happens to us is that we see an outward expression and we really don't understand what triggers that outward expression.
mm-hmm,
Um, you know, probably just like everybody else knows that we have been taught as men to not to scream out hurt,
mm-hmm,
never to, express, um, your pain.
right,
You're supposed to take it, suck it up, and, move on.
mm-hmm,
But a lot of what happens to society, especially with Black men, that we have not had the privilege to be able to talk to somebody and just express how we feel
right,
because we have to always be tough for something. We got to be tough for
mm-hmm,
somebody. We got to be tough for our families. We got to
mm-hmm,
be the strong person
right,
because we have been taught to be men, and that's how men are supposed to respond.
right,
But contrary to one's belief,
mm-hmm,
you have to understand that we are human
mm-hmm.
long before we are men,
That's right.
and so we have all of those feelings that any other person that was created by God has. And we do hurt, but we can't, show sometimes the fact that we hurt. So
Right.
we got to cry in silence. We got to get a punching bag or something and try to knock something out of the punching bag rather than trying to knock something out of a person.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be grievous just trying to be strong when you should be able to just be able to, to cry
Right.
and it just shed tears. And so I think this book right here, again, shares what maybe you can't share in
Mm-hmm.
the public, and it
Yes.
allows for others to be able just, if you just got to slide in your room and read this book and just shed tears and, you know, um, it's a good book. It's a good help. It lets you know that you are not the only one that's dealing with some kind of grief.
Yes. I love that. I love that. And
Yeah.
this is a good time too to even purchase the book because we're
Hmm.
coming into the holiday season.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I did had a conversation with Brian and Brian
Hmm.
Leonard, and we were talking about, and I was saying it is a good time because during the holidays, people are
Yes.
grieving, right?
They are.
They are
They are.
dealing with loss, and
Hmm.
I'm a mental health advocate as well. So I'm always talking about that,
Amen.
checking in with yourself first,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
like I said, let's normalize men being human. Let's stop with
Yes.
it's just this man thing or what and I'm not
Yes.
saying don't be a man, but I'm just saying it's okay to cry. It's okay not to have the answers all the time. It's
Hmm.
okay to say you
Hmm.
don't know, you don't
It
know,
is. It is.
as you
It
should,
is.
because
Hmm.
we're here to help, right? If you
Yes.
don't know,
Yes.
I'm supposed to be able to help you, right?
Hmm. That's
So
true.
what is the point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And again, thank you, Dr. Naaman, for answering the call and just really,
Yes.
yeah, because you're going to help change so many lives, so many. I already know we can speak that right now.
Hmm.
Probably just
Yes.
millions of lives, I say.
Yes. And say that. And I
Yes.
will agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. And yes, and I love the fact again that, just it's just important that men see other men, sharing their emotions, and sharing how they
Hmm.
feel about
Hmm.
themselves, about life. I think that is so important because we don't see it enough. And
That's the
I mean,
truth.
we have so many support. We got so much stuff for women. We can talk to this person, that person. It's a lot of help.
Right.
Men, not so much, and
Hmm.
y'all, need that space too to be able to
We
share,
do. We
you know,
do.
how you're feeling. You shouldn't have to hide away all the time to express your emotions, So let's
Hmm.
normalize all of that.
It would be good. It would be
Yeah.
good to do so because one thing that I found in my time of living, growing up with a house full of women, and my dad and I was the basically the only men there.
Hmm.
So I had an awesome uh, opportunity of growth being around women,
Yes.
and I really tell people that I have a sensitivity for women because I understand the things that y'all go through because of my sisters,
Mhm.
and so I got my knowledge about women, what my sisters could tell me,
Mhm.
and told me about what men be looking for and what they want and this, that, and the other, right? So
Mhm.
I got all of that information, but so I really understand you as a woman. I
Mhm.
really do, and that don't make me no way different. I am pure man, but here's my statement I want to make, and that is because we have to go this way. Women love to talk. They don't have a problem with talking. They
Mhm.
can meet a girl and say hey, and they got a conversation.
Yeah.
Women are going to stick up for women. I found that out last weekend. I found it out, you know, and it doesn't. And look, and here is the thing about it. Um, it doesn't matter if you're African American or white or
Mhm.
Caucasian. Women are going to stick up for each other. It just don't. It don't make a difference. I know. I seen that. I seen that last week.
Mhm.
But not, and that wasn't the first time. But I want to say that men, we ought to be able to open up. We need to be able to open up, and it helps us when we open up. It helps women to understand who we are, and I think
Yes.
all of the men who have put their signature
Yes.
on this book has made it possible for women to get a better understanding, not of just them who wrote this book, but men
Mhm.
get them understanding more about men because we can cry, but we just don't feel like sometimes we can cry in front of our lady. You
Right.
know, you
Mm.
know, sometimes
Mhm.
we can't cry in front of our children. We don't want to look soft to
Mm.
our children, especially men that you're trying to raise. We want to make them hard and strong, even though their knee is bleeding, gushing blood. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Right.
You're gonna be good. No, they're not. You got to get them to the doctor, and you got
Right.
to let them know it's okay to cry because you're hurting. And
Right.
so that's what we have to learn to do more and more.
That's beautiful. That is
Hmm.
beautiful. I love it. Oh my gosh,
Thank you.
Dr. Naaman, I really enjoyed this time that we shared
Yes,
together. I
ma'am.
knew it was going to be a great interview. I knew it. I knew
Yes,
it. I knew
ma'am.
it.
Yeah, I believe that when you had an opportunity for me to come on, I said, let me block this in for myself here and see if she will accept it. And I'm
Yes,
grateful that you did. I really
yes,
am.
yes. I love it. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our time has come to an end.
Hmm.
What I would like to say is, I need to put up your, okay, I do have your information up.
Hmm.
If you need to reach out to Dr. Naaman Potts, the name of his church is at the bottom of the ticker. He's a pastor of Bread of Heaven Community Church, Virginia Beach, 5241 Cleveland Street, Virginia Beach, Virginia, 23462, Suite 112, phone 757 609 0222. that
Amen.
can be reached. And Dr. Neighbor, you're on Facebook too. What is your
Yes, I
what
am.
is your name on Facebook? So they can DM you there as
They can look me up. I'm trying to see how I got it in here in the book.
well. Okay.
Uh, well, they could go to facebook.com/Naaman with Naaman.Potts Jr. and
Okay.
they should be able to pull me up there. I also have website where they can go to is Bishop Potts at the BOHOM.org. They can pull me up there. If you would like to get a copy of this book, um, all you would have to do is just go to my Cash App, which is $ capital H, capital POTTS. And if I have to mail it out to you, it's $20 plus $5 for shipping and handling. And I will express this book to you in a matter of moments. So that's all you have to do, and that will help us. Again, this book went #1 within the first 3 to 4 hours
Mm-hmm.
that it was being launched on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
We went in 5 different categories. We were in the top 100. Matter of fact, we were #1 in a few areas, and we were also within the top 25 within the
Wow.
first 4 hours. So this is a book that you should get. You should put this in your library, and it would be good if you would get it from me.
Yes. Yes, yes,
It would be
indeed.
good if
That's
you get it
awesome.
from me.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much, Dr. Naaman, for joining me on Snails with No Shells. I appreciate you. And what I would like to say is follow me on go subscribe on my YouTube channel. Okay, it's my name, MSBJ Martin, Ms. BJ Martin, MSBJ Martin. I am on YouTube, and you can see all of my interviews and see some other things about me. You know, I put some other videos on there too. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, MS BJ Martin. And again, thank you for taking the time to listen to the show. And before I go, what I would like to say is remember, just like the sun, you are necessary. I love y'all.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Just my imagination, or is it just insanity?